All right. Hello, everyone. Antoine, I see you're already in. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Let me make sure I can see myself on YouTube. Let me make sure I can see myself and that I look clear here. Yep, there is the red live icon. The red live icon. Antoine, what's going on? Hey guys, I don't have a special intro prepared tonight, so I'm just going to play Let's Go Blue from my laptop PC here. As you can see, I'm in a hotel room, so I am streaming from my Google Pixel 7. Let's see. Yeah, Let's Go Blue. Here we go. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Big Discussions 76 Sports. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar. Please like, share, and subscribe, especially if you are new. That always helps out with the channel, and that always helps out with the engagement. So let's go blue. Today was the our first look at Team 145. Team 145. This is going to be the immediate predecessor to Team 144, the 2023-24 national champions. Please smash that like button, everyone. So first of all, I want to thank Antoine there in the chat, not only for the continued support, but also for putting me into contact with the great Dennis Fithian. I saw Dennis this morning. He said I'll be at the Eagle around 11:30, and yeah, there's an Eagle right there at the corner of South Main and Stadium Boulevard, inside the stadium complex. And sure enough, Dennis was there. He was gracious enough to give me a copy of the rosters. There were two other YouTubers that met him there. One was Ferris. He has a I guess the Voice of College Football, Mark Rogers channel. I guess they have a night when they just do Michigan football, okay, or else they have a channel underneath the umbrella of the Voice of College Football. So yeah, so I met Dennis. I met these two other gentlemen, and Dennis was nice enough to give me a copy of this roster, which had the blue roster and the maize roster. I'm glad that it was cold out there today. I'm so glad that something told me go back and get your heavy coat and go back and get your gloves, because I was just going to wear this t-shirt, this Under Armour long sleeve shirt, and this jacket. But man, it was cold when I stepped out of my hotel this morning. It was there were flurries coming down, and inside the stadium, that wind was gusting around, and it was very, very cold. So I'm glad I took my coat. So it was the spring game. So the spring game, Ohio State had their spring game last week. They took a couple of jabs for theirs for it not being a real game, and them not tackling. So today, Michigan, the team did tackle everybody except for the quarterback. So at least for most of the game, I think I did see Alex Orji get pulled down once or twice. But for the most part, the quarterbacks were simply getting touched like this, and that would qualify as a sack. But otherwise, Michigan they were playing with 90% contact, unlike Ohio State. This is a tough team. Where's Lou Holtz? So yeah, the spring game, it's a bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a competitive game where you're going up against a conference rival or a non-league opponent. It's for the most part it's a scrimmage. It's for the fans. It's to give everybody a first look at what the next team is going to look like. And there were a ton of players who are going to get drafted this week here in Michigan. J.J. McCarthy, Chris Jenkins, Blake Corum. Those are among the names that are going to get drafted. Mikey Samer still. So the team is going to lose a bunch of players, but there are still quite a few players left on defense. Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, Will Johnson. I saw Will Johnson on the field earlier today. I think today might have been the lowest, might have been the closest to the field that I ever got. Who else? Derek Moore. He's back. Rod Moore's hurt. But there are a bunch of guys coming back. Okay. And on offense, there are a bunch of guys coming back, like Colston Loveland, like Tyler Morris, like Donovan Edwards, like the quarterbacks. That entire quarterback room is coming back, aside from J.J. McCarthy. Khalil Mullings, he's coming back. So they're going to have to retool the offensive line, but much of the 2023-2024 championship team, much of that team is going to be intact for 2024. And it's going to be a whole different setup for 2024 in that it's a 12-team playoff field now as opposed to 4. So there won't be that going undefeated will be good, but not going undefeated won't keep a given team out of postseason play. Thank you for commenting there. I'm going to read all your comments, guys. I think the big thing was the quarterback play. How would the quarterbacks look? Before I get into that, this was my first spring game. All those years I was in Ann Arbor as a student, I never went. I don't remember it being a big deal toward the end of Lloyd Carr's tenure, but this was my first time going. It was it had a bit of pageantry to it. So just like when Jim was the head coach, Sharon Moore was hanging out on the field most of the time. Most of the time with Joel Klatt. If you look down on the field, you can see Joel Klatt with his microphone, and he and Sharon Moore were standing side by side. Kirk Campbell was the coach of the Mays roster. His assistants were Ron Bellamy, J.V. Brown, Lou Esposito, Brian Jean-Marie, Nick Rosiello, and Brad Hawkins. Shout out to Johnny Olden. Brad Hawkins is back on the coaching staff. The blue team was coached by Wink Martindale. His assistants were Tony Alford from the Ohio State University, Steve Kasula, Lamar Morgan, Grant Newsome, Andrew Goodrich, and LaTroy Lewis. And Sharon Moore was, for the most part, just standing on the field and spectating. And you could see Joel Klatt from Fox Sports out there giving his play-by-play coverage. I want to go take a look at what he said about the spring game as well, and to see what he saw, because you could also see Joel Klatt just kind of leaning in and looking to see, the intricacies of our offense. Okay, and you could also see Charles Woodson on the sideline. He was on the sidelines as well with his mic, interviewing guys and taking it all in. A number of players from Team 144 were there on the sideline. They had the ring ceremony before the spring game. Dennis Fithian told me that you had to be in the in crowd. You had to be one of the NIL donors, basically, to have gotten into that ceremony. But apparently Coach Harbaugh and J.J. McCarthy and key players from from Team 144 were there to get their rings. But on the sideline, Chris Jenkins was on the sideline for a little while. I saw Mikey Samer still walk by. Who else? Blake Corum was there. It's amazing how, and he earned it. Blake Corum has become this Paul Bunyan-like figure. He's become this, I guess, in Columbus, maybe it's Archie Griffin, but Blake Corum has really, really become a beloved Wolverine after his 4 years in Ann Arbor, after all of those runs, all of those touchdowns, the game-sealing run against Alabama. Business, we came back for some unfinished business. Business is finished. 6-5 for Zach Zinter. All that. I mean, there was a section where it was a point at which, while the game was going on, Blake was being interviewed in the southwest corner, because I sat in the southwest corner of the end zone for the first half, and just literally people were standing up to see Blake, and they were yelling his name and they were chanting his name, Blake, 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 Blake. So that stood out to me, that he basically become he's become a mythic figure in Ann Arbor. Okay. All right. Now that all that's out of the way, yeah, I think so. Michigan tackled. They tackled, unlike Ohio State, so they came ready to compete, and they came ready for contact. And I think that a lot of us were looking to see how the quarterbacks would play, and with either Dennis or the gentleman Ferris from the Michigan portion of the Voice of College Football, one of the things they told me is that the teams were drafted. So they didn't just cut the roster in half. Half the offensive guys go over here, half the defensive guys go over here, and that's how we'll set up the rosters. But they told me that the teams were drafted. So the offensive linemen were drafted. So you weren't really going to see a nice gelled offensive line. Okay. And so that would probably impact the running game. And to some degree, that may have impacted the passing game as well, the quarterbacks in particular. Please smash that like button. So I'm just going to cut to it. Then I'm going to get to your comments. I see a lot of comments here from Antoine. I appreciate that. Keep letting me know what you guys thought. Alex Orji, the quarterbacks were white. Okay. Alex Orji and Jaden Davis played with the blue team, and Davis Warren and Jaden Denegal played with the maize team. Okay. And from what I heard, Dennis Fithian, he told me that Jack Tuttle was hurt. Okay. So we saw 4 quarterbacks today. Okay. That first drive, and the thing is, the way they did it, we only saw a little bit of Alex Orji. We saw him at the beginning, and then we saw him peppered in the third quarter, and then we saw him at the end. I thought Alex Orji looked pretty good. I mean, we know that he could run the ball. That's what they put him in the games for during this past championship season. But he was throwing the ball around pretty well, in my opinion. I think Antoine thinks so as well. He went 0 for 2 in the beginning, and then he started hitting some of his targets. Donovan Edwards got in at the beginning, ran the ball a couple of times, and then we didn't see him anymore after that. Khalil Mullins was in at the beginning, and then we didn't see him much after that as well. And that first drive was a mixture of Alex Orji throwing the ball and Donovan Edwards running the ball. And then that first blue team score was off of Alex Orji's legs. Okay. So I think what the coaching staff wanted to do was to get him some repetitions, to get the projected starters some repetitions, and then get them off the field. All right. So after that, you were pretty much watching Jaden Davis play. After that, you were pretty much watching Davis Warren play, and pretty much after that, you were watching Jaden Denegal play as well. I thought Jaden Davis and Jaden Denegal, they played average. They played okay. They didn't pop off the charts, but I thought Alex Orji, who was the projected starter at this point, and Davis Warren played pretty well. Davis Warren hit Frederick Moore. I believe it was twice for 2 touchdown scores. So Davis Warren threw 2 touchdowns. Okay, and he led that Mays team to that 17-7 victory. I think late in the game, they put Alex Orji in late in the game to try to get him some more reps and to get him on the board. But there was a play in which he rolled out and he got touched, and that counted as a sack. If it was a real game and where the quarterback could get sacked, actually, Alex Orji would have turned that ball up the sideline and scored with his legs. And it looked like he pulled up lame a little bit there. It looked like he got hurt on that particular play. He looked it looked like he was kind of moving around kind of gingerly after that. But the referees called it off because they said he got sacked. But my point is, and Antoine, I was thinking about you when this was going on, when Davis Warren threw those 2 bombs. I was thinking, okay, wait a minute. Is Alex Orji going to be competing with Davis Warren for this starting spot now? Is Davis Warren making his case for the starting spot right now? What if we end up with Davis Warren as the starter on against Fresno State at the end of August? Man, what would that be like? But this is competition. This is it. There's only one quarterback who could play most of the snaps, and only one of these guys is going to be able to win that position. But Davis Warren certainly made a case for himself today. Okay, Alex was a mixture of running the ball, and also he completed a lot of balls over the middle of the field. That's what I remember. There were a lot of short throws that were completed over the middle of the field. So watching today, I think a question going forward is what does Alex Orji have in terms of airing the ball out down the field? What does he have in that regard? We know he can run. We saw the short throws today, but can he throw for the long completions? Okay. I'm going to read through some of your comments. I don't have a lot to say. I was surprised. You know what? When I took all my notes at the end of the game, I looked up and I said, wait a minute. Or maybe it's when I was at the Chinese restaurant afterwards. I said, wait a minute. Where was Samaj Morgan? Was Samaj Morgan hurt? I didn't see him today. He's on one of the rosters, but I don't remember hearing anything about Samaj Morgan today. I'm going to read some of your comments. All right. I'm going to start at the beginning here. Antoine, I think you were happy with what we saw from Alex Orji today. Let's see. He says, "What's up, Doc? You had fun at the game?" Yeah, it was cool. It was just cold. It was just cold. In Washington, D.C., it's not in the 40s. There are no flurries anymore. But here, it was cold. So, okay. Hey, Doc. Antoine says, "We don't need no intro. I'm pleased. I'm very pleased with what I saw today." He says, it had to be good when you don't see too many OSU trolls. Yeah, they took a lot of heat for not tackling in their game and not having a lot of contact in their game. So they're probably feeling a little insecure right now. Go Blue says trolls have not much to say when we see their spring game and they charged them a fee to watch. Oh, LOL. Must need more NIL money. So Ohio State charged for their spring game. Okay. Antoine says, and I'm very pleased with the depth. He says, when you see extreme violence, it tends to scare people. That hard-hitting sound scared OSU. Everybody, please smash that like button if you're coming in, no matter how long you stay. Please smash that like button. Go Blue says LOL. He says, you were cold today. You got to get your Michigan blood back at point. Yeah, it felt like November today as opposed to April, but it's this part of the country. So Go Blue says, funny, the Michigan spring games are always cold or rainy. Been to many, never nice out. Yeah, that's why in hindsight, looking at the games on TV, that's why Jim always had those I forget what you call those coats, but Sharon was wearing one today because it's chilly. It's still chilly here this time of year. Antoine says, I don't get these players that shy away from this type of weather. When you play in the National Football League, you're going to see it all. You might as well get used to it. That's right. Even if you play Miami or Tampa or one of the indoor stadiums, you're gonna have to go outside in the snow at some point to play Buffalo or Cincinnati or Cleveland. Go Blue says, I should have went. I'll kick myself forever now. Antoine says, I watch RJ's report. Okay, if you're familiar with that little puss, oh, his big thing was the attendance. Sounds like a goofy ass Ohio State fan worry about inconsequential things. There were a lot of people there. I mean, today, yeah, there were. If you watched it on TV, maybe it didn't look like it, but there were quite a few folks there. I mean, not so much that the stadium was packed with 100,000 people, but there were quite a few people in there. I mean, some folks left at halftime, but there were a lot of people there. I heard Mike Vick was there. I don't know. The Fox crew was there. Joe Platt, Charles Woodson, they were all there. I didn't see Michael Vick on stage, not on stage, on the field, but that doesn't mean he wasn't there. Antoine says, even with the teams broke up, that offensive line still held up nicely. Yeah, the other thing I was thinking about was I'm curious to see Jayshon Barham play. I've heard so much about him, but without the intensity of the regular season and without being able to go after the quarterback and really hit, you won't really see what your defense has until the fall comes. So again, it's a bit of a scrimmage where you get some taste of what the quarterbacks can do and what the offenses can do, but you're not going to get that full taste of the team until Fresno State comes in at the end of August. Antoine said, Warren had a very nice game. Orji started off shaky, but redeemed himself through the course of the game. His ability to run is too much to pass up, but I was definitely impressed with the last drive. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and there's no guarantee that Davis would do that against Texas or Oregon or Ohio State. So it was the spring game, but he had the longest 2 completions today. Denegal, it looked like he struggled a little bit out there today. Okay, and I was looking and wondering, there's gonna, for that second, third, and fourth spot, the competition's gonna be fierce for that second, third, and fourth spot. So he probably feels some heat from the Davis kid being here now. So yeah, I imagine that quarterback competition is going to be very, it's going to be, and it is very competitive. Okay. And maybe in some regards contentious, but I think probably of all the quarterbacks, Denegal might feel Jaden Davis there a little bit more. Okay. And Davis is just a freshman. That's right. And he throws the ball really well. I saw that today. Madman says, I thought Denegal was below average. Antoine says, I think Denegal needs to stick around. He will probably be ready next year. Is this, let me see. Orgy. Thank you, Dennis 50, once again for this sheet. I was going to ask Antoine for the answer, but let's see. For the Mays team, Alex Orgy. Oh, well, Alex Orgy's got 2 more years left. So there will still be a logjam next year. So I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Denegal's got more years. Jaden Davis is just coming in. Alex Orgy has this year and another year of eligibility. I wouldn't be surprised to see one of these guys transfer out, just because only one of them can play. Let's see. Go Blue says, I was impressed with Warren and Davis. Orgy is what he is, a runner. Denegal, I have no clue. Okay, Antoine. So here's Go Blue saying, well, basically, Alex Orgy may be a good run pass option guy, but what else? But maybe not more than that. Antoine says, even if Warren wins the job, Michigan can always use Orgy. Let's see, he played for Mays. Madman said, just didn't make plays. I think we're talking about Jaden Denegal. Antoine says, Orgy needs to keep the same mindset he had on the last drive. Just complete the ball and make the first down. Don't get caught up with stupid fans wanting you to throw down the field all the time. Okay. Antoine, did you hear? I mean, I was in the stadium. Okay. So I didn't hear fans trolling him and demanding that he throw the ball down the field. Did you see or hear any of that from where you were? Mays Madman says, Moore looked good. Kendrick Bell looked good, though, too. Antoine says, when I coached football, I told my players to just get the first down. That's your main objective, instead of giving them the objective of scoring touchdowns, because eventually we will get there. Mays Madman says, Zeke Berry looks like a player. I kept hearing Dunlap. I kept hearing his name quite a bit today, a lot as well. I just want to pronounce it correctly. And I'm not seeing him here. Okay. He's on here somewhere. But anyway. Okay, Antoine said yes. Mad. I think that means that people were really calling for Alex Orgy to throw the ball down the field. I mean, unfortunately, whoever emerges is going to be directly compared to JJ McCarthy this year. So if you're not throwing the ball down the field with the zip the way JJ did, whoever emerges is going to get compared to JJ. Tavier Dunlap, that was the kid. I kept hearing his name quite a bit earlier today. He was running the ball quite a bit. And then there was another kid who was running the ball a lot. Let's see. I think it was Charles Bell. Was that his name? He was running the ball quite a bit. So there's a little bit of depth at the running back position as well. Or is it Kendrick Bell? No, he's a wide receiver. Okay, I'm gonna go through the rest of your comments, and then I'm gonna wrap up. Let's see. Maze Madman said, "I wanted to see more from Klein." Yeah, he looks like one of the next tight ends up, along with to join Colston Loveland, and that was a mainstay of the offense in past years, whether it was Schoonmaker or AJ Barner or Colston Loveland. Go Blue says, "So I wonder where Tuttle." Yeah, I wonder where Tuttle fits in all this. Yeah, so Tuttle was hurt today, so we didn't get to see what he could or would do. But yeah, where does he fit? And like I said, I wouldn't be based upon the nature of this position and what's happened in previous years. I wouldn't be surprised to see one of these guys transfer, and then because the competition has to be pretty fierce at that position. Let's see. Jay Marion says, "Red shirt Sapo orgy." Jay Marion, what does that mean? Antoine says, "Klein and Loveland will be our big receiver threat. As long as you throw them slant routes and quick routes, they will be a threat. And that's how Michigan should use them. My slant route strikes again." Yeah, and Colston Loveland can go deep as well. We've seen him go deep. So I think that's the big question from today and going forward, is that if it's Orgy, can Orgy throw the ball down the field when it's needed? Antoine says, "I'm talking about doing quick slant routes to the Smurfs on our team and throwing jump balls to our big tight ends." Yep, Maze Madman, Tavier. Antoine says, "JJ didn't even throw down the field that much." No, not this season. Not this season, he didn't. I'm thinking about the Maryland game. There was that long completion to Cornelius that could have put the game away, but Cornelius didn't pull it down. But you're right. I can't think of too many instances in this national championship season when JJ threw the ball down the field. Go Blue says, "Mullins." I think you're thinking about the running back I was talking about. No, it wasn't Mullins. It was let me see if I can find the kid. I'll probably find it when this stream is over. Yeah, there was another running back who was getting a lot of carries. So actually, I think it was Benjamin Hall. I think that was the guy, Benjamin Hall, not Charles, something or other. It was Benjamin Hall. He was getting a lot of carries today. Okay, let's see. Jay Marion said, Orgy is a red shirt. Sophomore is what I meant. Antoine says, I think Orgy could have ran more, but he was caught up with trying to be a quarterback, just like they tried to make Milroe into something he's not. If you notice, Alabama went right back to Milroe running. Yeah, and I thought I saw Orgy get hurt on that last play when they called it a sack. So he's gonna have to figure out. He's gonna have to find his own balance there between running and then dropping back and passing. Jay Marion says Dunlap got a lot of carries today. Yeah, Donovan and Mullings, they got action early, but then after that, they took them out. Antoine says, I think he's okay. He was just gimpy. Okay. So everyone, let me look at my notes here. What else did I notice today? Let's see. Yeah, so Davis Warren threw those, he was connecting with Frederick Moore quite a bit. He threw one TD to Kendrick Bell, and I think the other to Frederick Moore. Orgy's TD run was waved off. Let's see, Davis Warren started taking a knee at 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The final score was 17-7 Mays over the blue team. Did anyone hear about what happened to Samaj Morgan? I didn't hear anything about him today. I would have thought if he was out there would have been some more talk about Samaj Morgan. But was he hurt? Is that why he didn't, or was he there? But I didn't hear anything about him. I mean, certainly if he was out there, he would have at least caught one ball. Let's see. Jay Marion says Orgy was limping, but said he was okay after the game. And then Go Blue says he might have got hurt carrying that big ass gold rope around his neck. Okay. I'm not 100% sure what that means. All right. Did anything else stand out to you guys about today? Did anything stand out about the quarterbacks or anything else? Today, it looks like a two-man race. Orgy and Davis Warren. Antoine says, if you can't pick up the first down with your legs, stop trying to prove a point by passing. Get the first down by running. Don't get caught up with stupid fans trying to complete something when you simply can run it. Yeah, makes sense to me. The only thing is, we know that in the regular season, once the other coaches get tape on what Alex likes to do, they'll scheme to stop it. And if that's where he's getting most of his success, then they will eventually try to make him beat them with his arm. So you want to see that the arm, you want to see that he can do damage with his arm. All right, everyone, that's pretty much all I've got. That's pretty much all I've got. I think the team's prospects are good, especially with the expanded playoff field. A lot of players' names will get called here in Detroit next week, but I think there's a lot left for the team to use to do something next year. Go Blue says Orgy did an interview, and you could see his big old Luther Campbell on. Antoine said, "We've seen Michigan run into full boxes that don't scare me. And the one thing about the RPO, the defensive ends and the linebackers have to crash down." Okay. Whoever just came in, please smash that like button. I am finishing up here. Okay. Well, as they said at the end of this one, the next game in Michigan Stadium will be August, what's that, 31st, when they host Fresno State. So their first game is going to be against Fresno State, the Bulldogs. So this will be the first year of the new expanded Big Ten, adding in Oregon and Washington and UCLA and USC. So it promises to be very, very interesting and fun. All right, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. It was a fun outing. It was cold, but yeah, I think they have a lot of pieces that they can that they can build upon for next season. John Stoops, thank you for stopping through. He says, after today, I'm confident Michigan has a chance to run back. Okay. Well, you know, the thing is, as you know, the field changes every year. So it's kind of like the Hunger. Let me slow down. It's like the Hunger Games with the field. It changes and adjusts every year. So our team looks good. It's got pieces coming back, but the field has adjusted as well. All right, everyone. This is Big Discussions 76 Sports. Go Blue, Go Blue. You said you were scared? Scared of what? What were you scared of? What were you scared of? Antoine says, I was confident before I saw the game. You would be too if you kept up with the recruiting. Yep. We got dogs. Okay. Well, Go Blue was a little bit, wasn't feeling very good about the team until today. All right, everyone. This is Big Discussion 76 Sports. My name is Dr. Anwar Yusuf Dunbar. Please like, share, and subscribe, especially if you're new. If you want to donate something to the channel, my Cash App, PayPal are below in the description box. You can also leave a super thanks. And yeah, my newsletter, that's in the description box below. And yeah, I was supposed to huddle up with Johnny Olden last month. We couldn't make that happen due to schedules, so I'll ping him again and see what his thoughts are on this whole thing at this point going into the summertime. So look out for that. All right, everyone, have a good night, and thank you again for the support. And go Blue. As always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Yeah, it looks like he was cooking for about 2 hours. Probably about the quarterbacks. Probably about, well, let me go take a look. But I know it said about 2 hours. So, all right, everyone, have a good night. I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.